Okay, English 079. Guys, this week we are, of course, in Comp 1. We're completing our first essay. Now, if you've been keeping up in Comp 1, you should have no problems with that because, of course, we've been doing this we did it for a whole month. We've been literally working on one essay for a whole month. So the first essay is very, very slow paced, and I expect that you've made sure to keep up with that. When it comes to what we're doing this week in English 079, we are, of course, in Comp 1, I want you to really focus on getting that first essay in, doing the peer review and all the things we're doing in Comp 1. But we are going to be getting ready for our next essay in English 079. So this week, I am just assigning, if you take a look at the week 5, you're going to need to read reading number 3. I'm going to show you where that is here in a minute. You're going to do the critical reading activity, just like all the first two, that reading guide. And I'll show you where that is just to remind you. And then you're going to complete journal number 4. At this point, you should be getting used to where the journals are. I'm not going to show you where that is. This is our 4th time to do it. Again, well, I guess I will because I'm a sweetheart, I guess. But if you go over to the reflective journals, right? Reflective journals, and you just go down to reflective journal number 4. That's where that is. And you guys have been doing a great job. Most of you guys have been doing a really good job on this. So just go ahead and read this, respond to it, and you'll get your points. Now, as far as reading number 3, let me just show you what to read. If you go to English 101, so go to our Comp 1 and go to the homework and assignments section, you're going to go to the Essay 2 folder and you're going to read Love in the Age of Like. So this is the reading right here. You're going to read that. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the reading guide for that. So you have to click over here where it says PDF full text on the left. You click there and you will get a copy of this article that was featured. I forget in what magazine it was in, but essentially all you need to read is just his portion. And let's see here. There's this other one, the Spotlight, the New Matchmaker or whatever. She's got an article over here, Joe Piazza, Why Online Dating is a Boon for Women. You don't need to read that. You don't need to read these other ones, but just make sure to read Aziz Ansari's article. That's the only one we're reading. And what you're going to do is the reading guide for that. So the reading guide, so once you've read that, you go to the reading guide, and that is in English 079. And it's in the same place. You go to content and assignment links, and it says reading guide file here. You just click there, and there is your reading guide. So you click that, and just like last time, okay? Now, let me give you some pointers as far as how to fill this out, because I pretty much did it for you last time, pretty much just told you the answers for the first 2 readings. I'm not going to do that for any more of the readings, but I am going to give you some guidance, a little bit of guidance for this one. If you take a look at Love in the Age of Like, you're going to notice that there are subheaders. So there's different, the reading is broken up into sections. So there's this first section here, and then you'll notice that there's this next section that says where bozos are studs. Okay, interesting. And then there's another section, soulmate versus laundry detergent. Wonderful. Okay, and then you notice you scroll down, passion and patience. So what this tells you is that each one of these sections is making a separate point. And if you take a look at let's see here, if you take a look at the reading guide, down here on number 3, right in the body, it pretty much helps. It gives you how you should look at this. So in the first part of the body of the article is probably going to be this area where bozos are studs. Now, you can't just put where bozos are studs. You need to read it and say, okay, what is the main idea? What's the main point that he's making in that section? And that's what you're going to write here. So you have to read it. You have to let your brain process what you've read, and you're going to have to write, okay, in that first section, let's see here. Okay. In the first body section, okay, point, this is the point. Okay. What was it that he was trying to say? And I'll give you just a little hint. where bozos are studs. He talks about a part. There's this part where he talks about how his friend gets really picky and thinks that that there's this, I think there's this girl that doesn't like the same sports team as him. So he gets too picky, and he talks about how online dating makes us too picky. Okay, that is essentially what you're going to talk about in this first section. Now, what I would say for point number small a would be, okay, you'd want to tell the story of, maybe not, you don't tell the whole story, but you just mention, okay, he told the story about his friend who got too picky, and this, basically what you do is just think about what are the main points, what are the main things that he brought up in this particular section. Okay, the next section is soulmate versus laundry detergent. You have to read it and process it and say, okay, what is the main thing that he's saying in that section? All right, well, great, that is what this B is going to be, the big B is going to be about. And what were little things that he brought up to illustrate his point? That's what the little letters are going to be about. Okay, so keep that in mind as you go forward. Okay, now when it comes to your thesis statement, I'm not going to tell you what that is, but you should be able to determine what it is by simply reading. Especially, I'll give you a guess, it's going to be in this first section here. This first section is his introduction. Now, he's got a very long introduction, but you can divine what he's trying to say and what is his main argument. Essentially, that is what it is. Now, it might be a specific sentence that is in here that you'll highlight, you'll copy and paste, but it could just be something that you yourself, you're like, this is essentially what he's arguing. This is essentially what he's trying to prove in his article. And that might be what you put for your thesis statement. Of course, you can look up the author. All the other stuff is pretty standard. I expect you to understand how this works. Does he address opposing viewpoints? What do you think? Okay, after reading the article, what do you think? If so, list a paragraph number and briefly summarize the opposing viewpoint. There's not really much of an opposing viewpoint here, but I'll leave it to you. Maybe you find something. What is the author's tone and attitude? Well, he's a stand-up comedian. Maybe it's humorous. Maybe it's maybe, who knows? But I want you to really try to critically read this, because that is the goal. That is really what we're trying to get through on this. What is the author's purpose in this piece? Okay, and you should be able to answer these questions. All right. Of course, if there's words or that you don't understand, look them up, make sure to put them here. We're doing the same exact thing that we did for essay 1 for the first 2 readings. Yes, all of the readings that come from now on will be longer. That's part of it. We're learning how to read college level writing now, and you should be ready for that. So just make sure to read Love in the Age of Like. And one more time, I'm going to show you where that is. You go to the Comp 1 Blackboard, you go to Content and Assignments. Let's see, this is the 079. So English, the Composition 1, Homework and Assignments. You go to the Essay 2 folder now, and then you go to Love in the Age of Like. Okay, so you just click right there. And then when you get there, the way you can read it is you have to click on PDF full text on the left, and then there is the article right there. You read the article. All you have to do for this class by Friday with regards to this article is you fill out this reading guide, and then you're going to go and you're going to hand it in to the 079, and you go to content and assignment links. You go to week 5, you click there, and reading process guide 3, you just hand it in right there. All right. So if you have any questions, you can email me. I have to say, though, that we do have a winter storm coming. So my son is probably going to be home from school, which makes my office hours maybe a little bit more challenging. Tomorrow, though, I will be observing my emails. If you have questions, if you'd like to drop in, I will do my very, very best to make sure that I can get there for the 8 a.m. hour. But if I'm not, please forgive me for that. It's sometimes things are a little bit out of our control. So make sure to email me, though, and then we'll probably be able to set up a time tomorrow that I can actually meet with you. So the office hours tomorrow might be a little bit different. We'll see. We'll see. Definitely give it a shot if you need to talk to me tomorrow, 8 a.m. And I do try to stay available all day. But again, I have my doubts. I have a 5-year-old who's going to be home from school tomorrow. So I have my doubts that I'll be able to spend all day on the virtual office hour like I normally do. But definitely give it a shot. See if we can connect. And if not, we can always connect on Tuesday or Wednesday or just later on this week too. So that is your homework for this week. Essentially just read Love in the Age of Like, do the process guide, and hand it in by Friday, and then do your weekly journal. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is. Guys, have a good week. Stay safe out there with the snow. Safe travels. Stay warm, and I'll see you next week.